Hey guys, welcome. This is for Industrial Math, Chapter 11. I wanted to give you some help on in case you're struggling. Chapter 11 has to do with intermediate algebra, which does have application to your careers, but you may not have seen much of this, or certainly not in this class as of yet. So I want to give you a little bit of pointers. So with Chapter 11, Section 1 talks about solving systems of equations. Now, what a system of equations is that two or more equations, and in this case, generally they give you lines, okay? Equations that represent lines, okay? So if we had coordinate plane and we drew two lines, solving this system of equations, and remember these can be written in equation form, okay? Means, hey, asking ourselves, what is the point where they cross, where they both equal each other, where they both exist at the same time? Okay, in the same place. So that would be the point we're trying to solve for. Now, we can also have systems of equations that have lines, okay, that are parallel to each other. So if we have one line and one line like that, okay, these will never cross or meet each other. So there's no solution to that system. We call this inconsistent. Inconsistent system. All right. Now, if we had two lines that were exactly on top of each other, where all the points exist at the same place and same time, okay, we call that consistent. Okay. Any one of those points that we choose on this line would also be a solution to the other line. Okay. So consistent and inconsistent, and then this is one solution that we have here. And I want to go more in depth, give you an example here that they might give you in the book, or I mean on the homework, of how to solve for that point. Okay. For instance, they could give you two equations that look like the following. And they ask you to solve this system by substitution. Okay? So substitution essentially means, hey, we're going to rework one of these equations so that it is like x equals something or y equals something. Get one of the variables by itself, and then we're going to plug it into the other one. Substitute it in. Okay, so I'm going to choose this guy here, because I think that's probably going to be the easiest one, and I'm going to solve it for x, because x really doesn't have any coefficient, doesn't have anything with it. It would be pretty easy to get by itself. Minus 2y is happening to the x right now. Well, the opposite of that would be adding 2y. So if I do that to the left side, I have to do it to the right side. But what that helps me with is it helps me get x all by itself. So we get negative 6 plus 2y. All right, so I reworked this equation so it looks like this, using algebra. All right, now I can substitute in what x's are into the first equation. So I'm kind of like forcing these two things to get together to show me what the solution is. So I'm going to plug in this in for my x, and I get 2. Now careful that x is this whole thing now, so I'm going to say negative 6 plus 2y, and I put it in parentheses, minus y equals 3. Now I got to solve for my y. All right, now these parentheses, what it means is, hey, 2 has to be multiplied by both the negative 6 and the 2y, okay? Each of these terms have to get multiplied by 2. So I do a distribution here. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. 2 times 2y is 4y. We just multiply the coefficients there. All right, if we have two groups of 2, then we have 4 of them. Okay, so we got 4 apples or 4 y's now. All right, then we're going to subtract one of those apples. Okay, so if we have 4, we're subtracting 1. These are like terms. We can combine them. All right, we get 3 left. And now, to start getting x, y by itself, we have to get rid of the single numbers, the term over here. Right now, it's a negative 12, so the opposite of that would be a positive 12. What we do to the left side, we have to do to the right side. So we end up with 3y equals 15. All right, the last thing is, well, we got to break this term. 3 times y, the opposite of multiplying the y by 3 would be dividing it by 3. Do that to both sides. And we get our y, the solution, our y coordinate to this system is going to be 5. Okay, so we're going to be up 5. All right, now to find the x, all we have to do is take the y that we have, plug it into one of our two original equations here, and then find out what x is. So it doesn't really matter I'll plug it into this one since I've been using that one so much. X minus 2, our y we figured out for our solution is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. X minus 10 equals negative 6. Add 10 to both sides. X equals 4. Okay. So the point that exists for both of these equations is the point 4, 5, the ordered pair 4, 5. We put our x's first. Okay. That's solving by substitution.